Even though he knows it is wrong, he didn't say a word. That's wrong. He's a Paramatma. He's a Paramatma. He should have raised his objection. No, this is not right. And it was said.
Even lip service he did not do. Was Vidura there something?
Vidura, no.
He was not there at that time.
Drona, Kripa, Bhishma. They are the ones in the families.
Buddhi would have objected.
Yeah.
No, Buddhi left after saying, after when he
Game of
Yes.
Dice.
he told this is going to be a problem. See, it will destroy your
Kulam.
Isha. Then he walked out.
Bhishma didn't put his Praja first. That is his, compared to Rama. When Rama sent Sita, because he wanted first priority Praja. If Bhishma's first priority was
This
Praja,
Praja of the world.
he won't give up the
This
throne.
ego.
He is the best king.
But then I also feel like if he valued nobility and all that, how can he? I mean, he's facilitating his own father's weakness. He could have advised the father
Not to marry Satyavati to begin with.
No, but that is love for father. I
But
think that
this is like, when the father, the father is being so nasty. Why?
This one I don't understand. And Yayati also, like exchange the youth for the old age,
That is
love for father.
I mean,
understand.
no, I mean the father's position.
Yeah,
No.
Hey, but we actually see such characters, okay? We do see such characters even now. They are like, when I look younger kind of thing.
More among women.
What?
Where the mother wants to feel like a
Like the
sister
bride.
sister to the daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nakashika.
so like that, there are so many.
Yeah, first we should drop any.
Mahabharata tea code.
Oh, who is it by, Swamiji?
Huh?
Who is it by? Written by?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, not that Swami Jyotirmaya's
No,
Maratha,
that is symbolic.
mysticism of the Mahabharata. Yeah.
I think I had that.
Oh,
Can I borrow it now?
Huh?
Can I borrow?
I have to find out where it is.
Divakar Ikshit Srivastava, decoding the metaphor Mahabharata. Available on-
English now.
I didn't see this in foundation. It is upstairs.
oh, this one.
Swami, I borrowed one Ramana Maharishi short stories book
Ah.
from you.
Ah,
அது ரொம்ப ஹை ஃபண்டாக அவர் வந்து எண்டில் ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் அதுவும் புரிய அதுக்கு சாரி தமிழ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்
Mara, அவருக்கு editing அப்புறம் அப்புறம் விட்டு பாரு ஸோ அது ஒன்றும் அப்புறம் பண்ணத்துல ஒட்டது
there she has analyzed, this is a lady, this is a man. That one is a lady.
Oh.
There she has analyzed each character. She is also very scholarly. Huh?
I stopped.
What did you say?
I stopped after reading after the last one that I was I couldn't see that story.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾಟಕ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ರಾಮಾಯಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಬಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಬಾಸ್ ಆಲ್
This now.
the Bollywood Big Boss also.
I'm reading the Quran.
Arabic Nama. 27.
Huh. What are we chanting today, Swamiji? Durga Sutra.
What do we chant?
What are you? Navratri is coming.
So, Devi. When is Navaratri starting?
26.
Monday, next Monday.
Oh.
Vara Monday. Following Monday.
15.
Monday, 25th,
26.
26th.
To 4.
25th is
So 27th there is no class, huh?
You come? No, Swamiji. No. Why? No. Hey, no. I am one third of the class.
Next week.
I am one third of the class.
No, next week we'll have class. Third week we'll have class.
Oh.
Fourth week we won't have.
Oh.
Yeah. Next week we'll have class.
Yeah.
Let us do class next week then at least.
Tuesday, Thursday we'll
Hey.
have class.
20th we have class.
Yes, Swamiji is going to India in October. So
Oh.
we will have classes in October.
Oh.
Yeah. Swamiji on Monday. Swamiji's class.
Oh.
Not Mandukya, she will take her own
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class.
So you have to announce that.
Yes,
Swamiji, we attend from India. You also attend from India, Swamiji.
and they're all in
This
Sindhupari,
year.
internet and all.
Yeah, I'm joking, yeah. Only timing and all goes, Swamiji.
What time? It will be 11 o'clock. What time is that?
9. 9
9:30 p.m.
Vanda, Swamiji, Vanda.
You're just kidding.
You're just pulling, no.
October break. And from November 3 weeks class. That is first two
I am on a retreat, so
Oh.
let me enjoy my retreat.
Yes, please, Swami.
And matching time and internet and all that.
Yeah, it will be difficult.
Matching time is always
I'll be in
a
different places, so I'm not carrying my laptop.
Ah.
It's even harder with the phone.
iPad I can use, right?
No, Swamiji, it's okay.
from November Swamiji will do first 2 weeks, then in Chinmaya Thursday.
Yeah.
So we will have
For November whole month I am here.
So third and fourth week?
because Amma is Tuesday.
So I will come only 9th.
So from the second, third,
You
second.
come in November time?
Ah,
Long retreat, Swamiji.
Oh, 1 month.
1 month. For the month of October. Actually, we'll go 1 month is very short. Because 1 month very long.
Very long.
Yeah, because I go for entertainment. We not Swamiji.
You went 2 months, nobody complained.
2.5 weeks, Swamiji. I didn't go 2 months.
Nobody complained.
No, I went only 2.5 weeks. See, if I go, it feels so long.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marudatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayudamukyam Sri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagyavriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामुक्तये नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। ओके, दुर्गा सूक्तम्। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ जातवेतसे सुनवाम सोममरातीयतो निदहादिवेदः स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वानावेव सिन्धुं दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीगं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः। अग्ने त्वं पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरधि दुर्गाणि विश्वाः पहुलान् उर्वीभवातोकायतनयाय संयो विश्वानि नो दुर्गाणि तस्सिन्धुन्ननावादुरितादिपर्षि अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृणानोऽस्माकं बोध्यवितातनूनाम् नगं सहमानमुग्रमग्निगुं हुमेव परमात्सदस्सात् स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वाक्षामत्तेवो अतिदुरितात्यग्निः प्रश्नोऽधिकमीड्यो अद्य रेषु सनाच्च होता नव्यश्च स्वञ्जाग्ने तनुवं पिप्रयस्वस्मभ्यं च सौभगमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तं तवेन्द्रविष्णो अनुसञ्चरेम नागस्य पृष्ठमपि संवसानो वैष्णवीं लोक इह मादयन्ताम् कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गी प्रचोदयात्। So we are on the 27th verse, right? Second chapter. 26 we have done. No? Oh. Oh, Panchavimshakah. 26. Panchavimshakah ityeke षट्विंश इति चापरे एकत्रिंशक इत्याहुः Ananta iti cha pare
Ananta iti cha pare
Pancha Vimsaka ityeke षट्विंश iti cha pare Ekatrimsaka ityahuhu Ananta iti cha pare Panchavimsakaha. They divide the world into few divisions, just like science divided the world into a set of elements, and a combination of them is this universe. From element they go to molecules and then to atoms, etc. Atom also divided into subatomic particles. So the atom is not a scientific discovery, okay? This is already there. Now it is still getting further divided, molecules. So every science is trying to reduce the cause into a few fundamental principles. And they want to say that that is the reality. Now what has come? What is the ultimate molecule? And then? God particle. Oh, that's the latest. God particles. Oh, particles, then God particles. And nobody has seen that, right? And the energy they divide into a few. So too our philosophers also divided this world into tattvas, panchatatvas. Sankhya philosopher says there are 25 tattvams, 24 tattvams. 24. 25, yeah. 25, yes. Panchas, everything pancha, right? 5 panchaputas, 5 senses, 5 karmendriyas, 15, 5 pranas. Manaha, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That's 24 only. Chavimshadi. God. The yoga school add one more. That is God. Sankhya. See, there is a Nirishwara Sankhya, Saishwara Sankhya. But both are, the author is Kapila. See.
Then this student.
No, the Kapila is the name. The other one is also Kapila. The original one also Kapila. Kapila is the avatar of Bhagavan. So in Bhagavatam, there Kapilokyanam is there. There he talk about Ishvara. There is a Ishvara. Bhagavan is, because he himself is Bhagavan, right? So he acts as Bhagavan. But there is another philosopher came, his name is also Kapila. But he doesn't believe in the existence of God. You say God is, there is no need of God. So the whole creation is a permutation, combination of these 24 tattvas. That is what is. Then what about consciousness, if you ask? It is the elements that is combined in a certain proportion. As a result of it is consciousness. We give an example also.
It's not Adhisthana.
Adhisthana he doesn't accept. So that is a materialistic philosopher also. Here now science also tells that same thing. No? Now he gives an example. Pan, pan and the chunna and the supari. These three put together, what comes out? Red color. Same way. Now he doesn't say who decides the proportion. Now, how the elements which are inert, how can they move without the power behind it? So those things are not explained. It is natural, they say. So what is nature? Whose nature it is? All these questions remains unanswered. Now, yoga philosopher says you have to add God also, Tattvam. They are confused after a deliberate thinking. Ekatrimsakaha Pashupata Shaivism, a part of Shaivism, Kashmiri Shaivism. There are also divisions are there. Chaturvida Shaivaha, they are all analyzed in Brahma Sutra. Here, Pashupata Shaiva says there are 31 tattvas. Shaivites look upon Shiva as a god situated in Kailas. So too Vaishnavas look upon God living in Vaikuntha. Gaudapadacharya says both are wrong. So, we are neither Shaiva or Vaishnava. What are we? We are Brahmavadinaha. Called Smartas. Anantaha iti. There are infinite principles. Why limit to 25 or 31? Gaudapadacharya says there are so many reasons why. That's why in Bhagavatam there is Sarga and Visarga. 2 chapters are there, 2 skandhas are there. Sarga means fundamental elements. Then Visarga is out of that fundamental element, varieties of modification, multiple combinations. Like Diwali time, one rice modified into so many varieties, isn't it? Rice flour. Same way. Continuing that. So here Swamiji has listed this 31. Shiva, Sukh, Sadashiva, Ishvara, Vidya, Purusha, Maya, time, Niyati, Kala, Avidya, Raga, unmanifest Prakriti, Mahat, Ahankar, Manas. 16. Then 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, then Tanmatras, 5 Tanmatras. So Tanmatra we didn't count. Tanmatras. Then grossified 5 elements. We counted only grossified elements. So Tanmatras are there and the 5 elements. So these are 36 actually.
So there's this reference in that Kabir song, Swamiji, where he said, there's that song by Kabir in which he says, Nirguna Nirbhaya. So in that he says, Raga Chatis Sunaunga. So 36 is reference to these 36 principles.
Oh, okay. Here Bhagavan Gaudapada has mentioned only 31, perhaps by dropping item from time to raga, since they constitute nothing but the implication of Maya. Okay. Now there are still others believe, what is that? Lokan lokavidha prahuhu Ashrama iti tadvidaha स्त्रीपुं नपुंसकं लैङ्गाः
स्त्रीपुं नपुंसकं लैङ्गाः
परापरमथा परे
परापरमथा परे
लोकान् लोकविदः प्राहुः आश्रमा इति तद्विदः स्त्रीपुं नपुंसकं लैङ्गाः परापरमथा परे. All these are confusing. Whatever gives me happiness is the ultimate truth. Let us be very practical. It's called lokan. Lokan. Worldly people, laukikas. A certain type of social workers and politicians who live their whole life to make the world happy by beautifying the world. Lokan, objects of happiness, various pleasures. That is what? It is a type of charvakas, same way. Lokan, laukikas. Then, others, ashramaha, varnashrama dharma. It is a very beautiful scheme to grow in spirituality. It is a means, not an end. So, the varnashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. All these are called ashrama. You know why? Eh?
Because it gives ashraya to that particular.
Shramam.
Starting to end shramam only. Shramam.
Ashramam. Asamantashramaha. Yes, ashramaha. So, they argue that it is a beautiful scheme to grow in spirituality. It is true. Brahmacharya gives you the proper education, olden time, okay? Gurukula Vasam, Brahmacharya Ashramam will prepare you for the challenges in life. Then you enter into Grihastha Ashramam, which will make you mature emotionally. Grihastha is one place you will polish your angularities because your all defects slowly. When you are husband and wife, when they start living together, then only you learn how to adjust. Then when the children comes, you learn kshama. How, especially in this country. You learn tolerance. Even though the children say sometimes they get angry and uses abusive language, you have to tolerate that, isn't it? This tolerance comes. So, and once you mature and grow out of it, supposed to, Grihastha is for that. Then we enter into Vanaprastha Ashramam. Vanaprastha Ashramam is for devoting our time, dedicating our time to more sadhana and spiritual practices. Then even that dependence, even then we are dependent upon each other as husband and wife emotionally. But that dependent also gone, then you take sannyas. This is how. So it is a scheme, very beautiful scheme for developing spirituality. But it is a means, not an end. Sadhyavandanam is great, but that itself is not an end. It should lead you to jnanam. So therefore, taking ashrama and ashrama dharma, taking it as ultimate is also not correct. Use the means and reach the ultimate and get out of it. That should be the goal. Then third one is Tri Pumsa Napumsakam Laingaha. Now, this is obsessed with grammar. You see. Words and derivation. In Sanskrit, every word has a gender. The word Nadi, river. River actually is an inanimate thing. How can there be a gender for river? But in Sanskrit, Nadi is feminine gender. Nadaha, river is masculine. Thus people get obsessed with word, gender, grammar, and they forget that language itself is not an end, but a means for communication. But a means with tram, neutral gender, kalatram, neutral gender, they are also called spodavadins, these people who talk about grammar, everything.
Why is that
Spotam means explosion.
But how does that connect with
They are also talk about grammar. They are not Big Bang theories. Okay? You don't connect that. This is Spotavada.
It's a useless sound that kind of. Useless noise that kind of.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Swami, is it an analogy that they are focused on little things in scripture or
Yeah, I was
grammar?
Huh?
This is an analogy about how they are focused on little rituals, this, that, and forget the end?
Right, that's right. This is the point that he is making. Yes, Tri Pumsa Napumsakam Laingaha. Here he is talking about
Like Dukran kind of say.
Dukran Karne. Yes, yes. Dukran Karne people only. Yes. Necessary, they spend their whole lifetime figuring out grammar, grammatical nuances. That's right. Then others say paraparam, para, cause, apara, effect. But these people also feel a vicarious happiness, you see. Have you seen those people who engaged in Sanskrit grammar and Sandhi Vicheda and all that? They get a joy out of it. You cannot say there is no joy.
No, but that is gratifying my buddhi only, right?
Yeah.
Not going beyond.
No, not going beyond. They don't want to go beyond also. They are happy with it. And they say, this is my happiness. So that's what Gaudapada says. Don't stop there. There is nothing wrong in doing that. But don't stop there. That's the point. Paraparam, others say para, cause, apara, effect. Karanam Brahma, Ishvara, Karyam Brahma is called Jiva and Jagat. Both of them are the absolute truth. That is what they say. That is also wrong. As the ultimate truth is Karya Karana Vilakshanam Param Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. So Brahman is neither Karanam or effect. So Brahman is beyond Karya, Karana, Vilakshanam, free from Karya and Karanam. Now how do you prove that? Homework. Suppose Brahman is Karanam. Then what is the problem?
There is change.
He become a Karta. Isn't it? If he become a Karta, what happened?
Karmaphala.
Then Bhokta. So then he become what?
Limited.
Limited and dependent. That which is dependent cannot be Swatantra. It becomes Paratantra. So ultimate truth is Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Karyam Brahma is Vishwa, Taijasa, and Karanam Brahma is Prajna. Forgot? First chapter. Karyam is effect. Waking and dream is effect. The cause for waking dream is what? Deep sleep. Prajna. And Turiyam is absolute. Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Now, to summarize, in this chapter, Gaudapadacharya wants to establish that every object perceived by me cannot be the ultimate reality, whether perceived in waking or dream. Then why is the object not the reality? We saw the reason. Object cannot be the reality because to prove its own existence, it depends upon the subject. Because the existence of an object can never be proved without a perceiver. Since it has a dependent existence, therefore it is called mithya. There is a second reason also. Any perceived object is subject to interpretation. Because any object is perceived through an instrument of perception. It requires my mind, my sense organs. And these instruments of perceptions are never uniform in the perceiver. Human beings themselves are different from each other. And if you take the sense organ, the perceived object different from one to another, isn't it? You are looking at the same thing, but 10 people are asked. Suppose I am giving the lecture now. Now all of you are sitting and listening. Suppose I ask your opinion to write about the lecture. I will get 10 different opinions, isn't it?
We ourselves can give different opinion tomorrow.
Yeah.
Based on our understanding.
Correct. Yes. So that dependence is what is talked about here. So mind, background, vasanas, influence your perception. So, this perception theory is very peculiar in Vedanta. It's very interesting. They say we don't see what it is there. There is no objective perception. It is always subjective perception. Isn't it? And if this we understand, a lot of problem can be avoided. Colored by our thoughts, emotions, feelings, jealousy, hatred, anger, all this come into play. And what is there we don't see. What we see within us only we see as a projection. So this is very beautiful actually. If you have understood this, then most of the time when you are obsessed with emotion, don't talk. When you are angry, postpone it. Because when you are angry, you have to see that person and talk, only then you feel good. Otherwise, you get suffocated, you see. Hold on to that. Go through that suffocation. That's why, Ramchandraji, when he was angry with Sugriva, in Ramayana it is said, Lakshmana, go and warn him. Tell him that the arrow that killed Vali, I still have with me. But not today, tomorrow, he says. Means what? Today you don't see, don't act. Tomorrow you act. 24 hours later, your thinking will change. That grip of emotion will change. This is very practical. But at that time we forget. That's the problem. The damage is done. Then in English there is a simple way. Sorry. After destroying that guy, you go and say sorry. Doesn't work. That's why in our Indian language there is no sorry, right?
No sorry, no thank you.
No thank you, no sorry. Because we don't believe in that. That's why.
Many people find it hard to say sorry.
Yeah.
தமிழ் இருக்க மன்னிச்சிடுங்கோன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
Kshamaswa.
That's not the original version. Like Dhanyavada.
माफ़ करो बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में.
That's all influence.
माफ़ करो बोलते हैं. हैं?
Sanskrit doesn't have Swamiji. We have only Kritarnata. Dhanyavada is a later translation.
हाँ.
No, Kritarnata is a bhava. I won't say I am Kritarnata to you. It's a bhava.
Now, if a person misses this truth, then he is under the spell of Maya. Once I come under the spell of Maya, the relative reality, I mistake it for absolute reality. Vyavaharika Satyam will be mistaken for Paramarthika Satyam. Therefore, Gaudapadacharya says, confusions are many. Some are thoughtless and others are thoughtful confusion. Our Gurudev used to give an example, There was how you make mistake even after thinking. For that he used to give an example. In Kerala, there is a Nambudiri family. Nambudiri means Brahmanas. Nambudiris are very famous. It is a peculiar combination of intelligence and foolishness. So, so this boy, he was some 8-year-old boy. He was sitting in the balcony of the house, and he was watching a bull used to come and graze. A bull had got a round horn, the round horn. There's a gap in between. So one day this boy came down, jumped upon the bull and put his head in the inside. And the bull got scared. And it ran, and then he pulled him down and jumped over him. And he broke his rib and walking towards the house limping. That time the father saw this. He got so angry with this boy. And he asked, hey, because the Budris, when they get angry, they cannot scold like any bad words and all that. So he said, Alochikande, why don't you think? He said, he wiped his tears and said, 18 days I was thinking. Will my head go inside or not? 18 days he was thinking, it seems. After thinking 18 days, what is the result? This is what it is. What Acharya says. Deliberate, thoughtful thinking. What is that? Confusion. All the systems of philosophy, such thoughtful confusions. Do you mean to say Vedanta is also like that? Vedanta is not a system of philosophy at all. Vedanta is the remover of all the confusion and abiding as I, myself. Therefore, we don't look upon Vedanta as a system of philosophy. So the various confusions are enumerated from 20th to 28th verse. Each philosopher make one mistake of taking a particular object as reality. So this Loka Lokavidha, 27th verse we saw, Loka Lokavidha, materialistic people live and live happily. Ashramas, Karmakandins say, ashramas are important. Then grammarians obsessed with Padashastram. Every word has its own gender in spite of its meaning. Spodavada people use this theory. Paramcha, aparamcha, karya brahma, virat, karana brahma. They move between karya and karana brahma. They never come to the turiya, the uttama purusha. Means I myself. This much we saw. So I just summarized for you so that don't forget. 28th. Sishtiriti Sishtividaha Laya iti cha tadvidaha Stitiriti Stitividaha Sarve chehatu sarvada Sishtiriti Sishtividaha Laya iti cha tadvidaha Stitiriti Stitividaha Sarve chehatu sarvada. There are some people obsessed with creation. All cosmologists obsessed with how the creation has come. Still they have not come with the absolute theory. Recently they found 7 more moons around the Jupiter planet. Study of those moons will help to find out the formation of the Jupiter planet. This is called Srishti obsession. Then, Laya iti tatvidaha. There are people worry about what will happen to the creation. Big crunch. Astronomy. They say call that entropy or something like that. Sun will get destroyed and then the whole world will get destroyed and all that. So that is one theory. There are others who do not believe in either creation or dissolution. They apply a simple theory that matter cannot be created or destroyed. Therefore, the world is eternal. They are called Sthitivadinaha. Sthitivadinaha. In consciousness, there is neither creation, sustenance, or dissolution. What is there is only confusion. These confusions will go on and on. All these people have these different conclusions. Each one vehemently argues. But truth is not exclusive, but all-inclusive. Therefore, you cannot knock off one philosophy and try to establish the other. Everything is correct from their own standpoint. So therefore, Gaudapadacharya says, Yam bhavam darshayedyasya tam bhavam satu pashyati tam cha vati sa bhutva tadgraha samupaititam yam bhavam darshayetyasya tam bhavam satu pashyati tanchavati sa bhutva sau. Our Gurudev used to say, a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old child, only child, sitting in the lap with the thumb in his mouth. He asked, when the rain was pouring outside, he took out his thumb and asked his dad, who is a scientist, Dad, how rain comes? Now he's a scientist. Now he has to explain that the sun who heat up the surface of the ocean and the water become vapor and vapor goes up and get solidified as clouds, and the clouds come down in the form of rain. He looks at it and says, this is not what I asked. Then he goes to his grandmother. Grandmother says, Beta, the rain comes because there is Indra Devata's Airavatam. He takes water in his trunk and say, Foo, that is rain. This is what I... So this is what Gaudapadacharya says. It is the growth of intellect. At that time, what appeals to you? You say. All the schools of thoughts are like that, development of thoughts at different levels. So you should not dismiss it, but inclusive. So that's why truth is all inclusive. You should not argue with them and accept them. You are right from your own standpoint. Therefore, unfortunate thing, every human being come under one system or philosophy or other. Therefore, Gaudapadacharya says, Tam bhavam sadupashyati. He will see that particular thing as the truth. Whatever truth has been shown to him by others. Sometimes a book can influence his thinking, or sometimes a guru also can influence his thinking. Himself ignorant, then how will he know the guru is wise? So that's why Kathopanishad, Andhenaiva diyamana yadhantaha. Blind leading the blind. Every samsari is helpless. Each one belongs to one guru or other. Yam bhavam darshayet. Whatever his guru indicated, he only see that, and gradually he gets conditioned by his thinking. He becomes passionate to that particular philosophy. Tat grahaha, that become his conviction. This alone is real God. That's why Allah, Jesus, Vishnu, Shiva, Devi. Initially he holds that theory, and later the theory start holding him. A sadhu was sitting on the banks of Gangaji, meditating. Suddenly he saw a blanket floating in the river. A thought came to him, why not I possess this? So he jumped into the river, held on to the blanket, and he wanted to come to the shore. When he was coming, it is pulling him back. Then he turned and looked at it was a bear. This is what the samsara is. We get fascinated, we go for it, and then they start pulling you. So too, I get conditioned so much so that I cannot leave that God or Guru. They are the one convert the other people due to insecurity. Tat grahaha. So, this conversion is also a sign of insecurity. Grahaha, obsession, samupaiti tam. It overpowers him, and he will refuse to accept other views. All fanatic will not come for enquiry. Questioning your God is a sin. If you start questioning, you say you are a Satan. Satan or Satan?
Satan.
Satan. No. Satan. In Malayalam it is called Satan. Chaitan. Chaitan. Oh. That's one word, they will make you silent. And one person came and told me also. Here, they came. They came and said, you have to accept Jesus, otherwise you will go to hell. That's the only way salvation. I told him, I'll be very happy to go to hell. Why? It's the first time we are hearing that. Because my Krishna will be there, my Guru himself will be there. Because they never accepted. I will enjoy. He gave up, walked away. Tatgraha, obsession. Samupayatitam, it overpowers him and he will refuse to accept other views. God is all-pervading, but Krishna alone is ultimate reality. Now, Hare Krishna, Hare people. Even Rama is not God for them. Their mantra also they changed. In Kalisandharana Upanishad, it's a very small Upanishad. In that, this mantra is given. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But these people have changed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Not Rama, later only they give. And the moment you question, they get violent. Then what to do with them? Suppose you say your philosophy is not correct, then because of their strong attachment to that philosophy, they will not drop that philosophy, they will drop you. He will disown you. Gaudapada Acharya says, allow them to continue in their own system. Don't go and argue and try to convert them. Unnecessary. Na buddhi bedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam yoshayes sarva karmani. Krishna said in Gita. So a person who is following, because faith you cannot give. You can destroy somebody's faith easily, but you cannot give faith. If somebody has a faith in something, allow them. Encourage them. That's why our Gurudev said, if you learn Vedanta, you will be a better Christian, better Muslim. You will understand Bible better. Don't try to change them. You pray to your God, lead me from untruth to truth. Mithya lead me, from Mithya lead me to Satyam. Never criticize anyone. Even worship of Mithya Ishvara will lead to Satyam Brahma. Mithya requires Adhishthanam, that is Paramatma. Therefore, when you are worshipping Mithya unknowingly, you are worshipping a Adhishthanam. When you are paying for the necklace, what are you paying for? Gold. Saha, that Mithya Vastu, Asau Bhutva, that deity take charge of him and lead him to the higher worship. Therefore, continue your worship. You need not change your Ishtadevata. So, because you study Vedanta, Sarvam Brahmamayam, So why should I go to the temple? Why should I worship Bhagavan? Don't say that. Yam bhavam darshayadhyasya tam bhavam sadupashyati tam chavati sa bhutva sau tat graha samupaiditam. See, look at our rishis' higher vision, large-heartedness. It is not fanaticism, please. Continuing, 30th verse. एतैरेषो पृथक् भावैः
एतैरेषो पृथग्भावैः
पृथगेवेति लक्षितः
पृथगेवेति लक्षितः
एवं यो वेद तत्त्वेन
एवं यो वेद तत्त्वेन
कल्पयेत्सो विसङ्गितः
कल्पयेत्सो विशङ्कितः
शो पृथक् भावैः पृथगेवेति लक्षितः एवं यो वेद तत्त्वेन कल्पयेत्सो विसङ्गितः. What happens gradually is pointed out here. Initially, the seeker assumes any objective entity is ultimate reality. One may Prakriti, etc., one may take any particular form. And when he look upon some object or the other as truth, he certainly differentiate himself from the truth. Dvaitam. We start with Dvaitam. Indirectly, he is declaring, I am not the truth, but I am this particular, or I am atom, etc. Even though the dream is my own projection, but it becomes so real that I look upon it as affecting me. The fear comes, anxiety comes, etc. Happiness also comes. I am affected by this world. I become a fatalist. I am a helpless person and have no control over my life. Third verse says, Etaihi apruthak eva esha lakshitaha. I, the Atma, is taken different from the objective world. I am different from the world. The objects are true. As long as I maintain this division, I will be a helpless creature. The world is nothing but myself. It is my own projection, my own. See, the whole dream world is my own projection. All object in the dream world is nothing but myself. Waking also same. If that is there is no problem. Therefore, the prayer should be that this Nama Rupa I worship should lead me to remove the Dvaitam and look upon me and the world as one entity. In the third chapter, he is going to deny all worships, okay? Don't get upset. Morning you know itself. Gaudavacharya very strongly criticizes all worship. But you have to start from worship. All these objects are really non-separate from Atma, the observer. Just as the dream world has no separate existence from the waker, therefore, apritak bhavaha, non-separate from the subject, and therefore they are dependent on the subject, and then they are mithya. But not knowing this fact, what do they think? Prithak eva iti lakshitaha. They look upon the Jagrat Prapancha as a separate entity, falsely taken as an independent entity. And once it is taken as a separate entity, naturally the subject will be taken as separate entity, different from the object. Once the subject-object division comes, then the object is also limited and subject is also limited. Therefore, in all other philosophies, the limitations are preserved and therefore the duality cannot be avoided. Even in heaven, in Vaikuntha or Kailasa, you cannot get moksha. Why? You maintain the division. Is it not? That's why Abrahma Bhuvanan Lokan Punaravartinojana. As long as you maintain the different, God is there and I am sitting here looking at Him. If a 7-footer guy come and sit in front of you, then you have to look this way, that way only. Because of Dvaitam. As long as Dvaita Bhava is there, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. That's not moksha. That's why they have, Vaishnava Sampradaya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, then called Sayujyam. So, experience of division is not a problem. So, this is very important. Experience of division is not a problem. But considering the division is real is the problem. See, when you are living with this body, we always feel the difference. I am different, you are different, that thought will be there. But that difference is real. If you take it, that creates problem. Like sun is rising. See, this is a thing, that phenomena we cannot change. But you know that it is not rising. Evam yaveda. Thus the one who knows the duality is only an appearance and non-duality is a fact. Sa kalpayet. That person alone can teach the scriptures properly. He can only be a real guru. All other people who knows the Veda Pramana, but they do not know what is the Tatparyam of the Vedas. Avishangitaha, he alone come to teach the scriptures without any vagueness or doubt. Avishangitaha. Okay, stop here. Huh? Tuesday we have class, right?
Yes. Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday we have class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.